The next commencement matter from Senators Fiona O'Loughlin and Vincent P. Martin is the need for the Minister for Agriculture and the Marine to make a statement on the announcement by Horse Sport Ireland of its planned move from County Kildare to County Dublin. Thank you, Senator O'Loughlin. You have 4 minutes.
Thank you, Chair, and I'll be sharing my time with Senator Vincent P. Martin, and thank you, Minister, for coming to respond to this particularly difficult issue and challenging one. The equine industry, as we all know, is synonymous with County Kildare, and it has incredibly positive socio-economic benefits for our county, which is known as a thoroughbred county, not just in Ireland but indeed right throughout the world. And when we look at what we have 3 racetracks, we have Goffs, we have HRI, we have 78 trainers, numerous breeders, and the impact in terms of hospitality, in terms of restaurants, in terms of people working in stable yards, etc., is really, really huge. It was very concerning to learn before Christmas that Horse Sport Ireland, who are temporarily located in Naas, were planning to move to Dublin. And Punchestown, which is a very well recognised both racing track and also for other equestrian sports and does a lot of community events, had the generosity and the magnanimity under the chairmanship of David Mongie to offer a site free of charge to Horse Sport Ireland, so that we could keep those 60 jobs in Kildare. We could keep those 60 people buying their tea, their coffee, their lunches, etc. in Kildare. And we've also negotiated with the present owner of the former Irish Kellet Equestrian Centre in Kill, where a lot of state money went in to build an equestrian centre for the 2003 Special Olympic World Games, for him to give their full kit free of charge, should that stay in the county, to Punchestown. Now, I think that's very, very magnanimous. There are business people involved in putting a business plan together to ensure Horse Sport Ireland, who are an excellent organisation, stay in the county. A lot of funding comes from the state, 5.5 million from the Department of Agriculture, 1.5 million from the Department of Sport. And I'm asking the Minister to ensure that Horse Sport Ireland stay in Kildare with capital funding. Thank you.
Gora Maigad, and to thank Senator O'Loughlin for taking this initiative. And I'm aware firsthand the love, the care, the connection, the passion and the economic appreciation of horse and the welfare of but the equine industry in Kildare, it's second to none. It's a world leader. And as I said before, the equine industry and the horses to Kildare, what Semple Stadium and Croke Park is to the GAA. It's the spiritual home. In Kildare, we consolidate, we build and we expand. We don't dismantle, remove and decommission. To remove such an essential piece of infrastructure out of Kildare is as incongruous as removing vineyards out of Bordeaux. Minister, I'm appealing to you under your watch to review this decision, to not let it happen. The economic, it's not just about Kildare. Of course, I'm a proud Kildare public representative, but there are 14,000 jobs generated by the activities of Horse Sport Ireland, 816 million generated, which put into perspective is twice what the sheep industry generates. Minister, we have to look at this. There's an opportunity here, be it Punchestown, which I think would be a fantastic venue, or wherever, to put, as a world leader, it would be such a boost for tourism. It builds on the good work done already, and it has a type of Abbottstown, only it's the go-to place, not just in Ireland, but in the world, for everything about equine. It's a huge opportunity. It's not once in a generation, it's a once-ever opportunity, and I'm urging the Minister to look at this extremely carefully, and the entire government. Gora Maigad.
Thank you, Senator Martin. Minister Hayden, you have 4 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, and I'd like to thank both senators for raising this issue and showing their interest in this area. And as the Minister for Kildare, if you like, I take on board the points that have been raised. Nobody can doubt the passion for my county and my close connection with the equine sector, and the acknowledgement that you share here today as public representatives for our county, that the really important role that the equine activity plays for Kildare, and it's really important. But it's important to put some context on what I'm about to say, because Horse Sport Ireland is a company limited by guarantee and is the national governing body of equestrian sport in Ireland. It's not a state body. It is recognised by the Federation Equestre Internationale, the Irish Sports Council, the Olympic Council of Ireland and Sport Northern Ireland. Though it receives some financial support from my department and that of my colleague Minister Martin, it is, however, independent of my department in operational matters and policy decisions on issues such as location of its office. That would be a matter for its board. Following on from the recommendations of an independent review by the consultants in the Con in 2018, the senators will be aware that Horse Sport Ireland board has been undergoing significant reorganisation. A new board is now in place and all of the Indicon recommendations have been implemented, which is very much to be welcomed. HSI is responsible for directly running the stud books of a number of Irish horse breeds and undertakes a range of initiatives in the promotional, marketing, education and training in the sector. Under its current strategic plan, HSI aims to lead the equestrian sector and enable it to fulfil its potential, grow participation, win medals and be a top breeding nation. It's the equine breeding remit that is of particular interest to my department in agriculture. And the increased value that I believe we can bring to the sector. If you look at present, the average price of a sport horse foal is about €3,000. But if you look at the elite sales of the elite foals, it's up to €8,000. I believe we could be very ambitious. We're only scratching on the surface of the value of the sport horse from a breeding sector and the income that can generate for our rural economies. Most breeders only own 2 sport horse mares or less in terms of breeding, and this can be an additional income for farmers. And we should definitely be ambitious in terms of wanting to double that base price that we get for our foals. But that will take significant work, and I know the HSI have ambitions in that regard, and I look forward with my ministerial colleagues in agriculture working closely with them. In that regard, HSI has been based in the office of Millennium Park in Naas since soon after it was established in 2007, with the Equestrian Federation of Ireland, the Irish Horse Board were amalgamated, bringing together the breeding and competition sectors. It is now appropriate, given the passage of time and the evolving role and challenges, that the resources in terms of office accommodation falls due for review. The concept of Horse Sport Ireland having a defined headquarters, a national training centre and breeding centre has been an objective since the inception of Horse Sport Ireland and has been referenced in every strategic plan since 2009, and it's one that myself and my ministerial colleagues in the Department of Agriculture would very much like to see happen. The importance and need for a National Centre of Excellence has been well identified by both internal and external actors, and indeed the wider stakeholder group through their contribution to a report called Reaching New Heights, a review conducted a few years ago into which there has been a widespread stakeholder input. It should be noted that Horse Sport Ireland is an all-island national organisation serving 32 counties. Therefore, the place it is considering relocating to cannot be confined to only one county, particularly when you consider the breeding side of things, the elite performance side of things. I'm conscious that I'm limited on time, so I don't have time to read all of the note here, but I would just like to reference that Horse Sport Ireland has a very ambitious approach in terms of a hub-and-spoke approach, where there would be a national centre as part of the hub-and-spoke model, and that we would see the development of 5 regional centres to propose improvements, enhancing facilities and thus enabling Irish-bred horses to be produced and value-added in Ireland, which again is really, really important. HSI's headquarters is under active consideration by its board. The organisation's board has identified a location for the core of its future strategy, which happens to be at Greenogue in County Dublin, which may fit the organisation's needs in terms of facilities. Other sites have also been mentioned, and I'm aware of other sites haven't been mentioned in the department. Myself and my officials will be meeting with HSI early next week. I'm aware of other meetings the Kildare County Council and others have undergone with, so I look forward to going through the detail of this proposal, which is at a very early stage, and talking that through with HSI next week.
Thank you, Minister. Senators, you have 1 minute for your response.
Thank you, Chair. It's important that Horse Sport Ireland be ambitious, and we certainly want it to be ambitious, and it's important to note that they do need to move from their present premises. But I have no confidence in what the Minister has said, that he's going to fight for it to be retained in Kildare for all the reasons that myself and Senator Martin outlined. We had a good Fianna Fáil minister in Kildare, Charlie McCreevy, who delivered for the equestrian world, and he delivered for Punchestown. And there's absolutely no reason that a further investment in Punchestown in relation to bringing Horse Sport Ireland there, giving them an absolutely world-class site, which is what they need in terms of carrying out their functions and carrying out their work. I accept all of the reasons why Horse Sport Ireland is a 32-county and a national organisation. But I think moving it from Kildare, which is synonymous for all of the reasons that I said, with the equestrian world and with the thoroughbred world, would be absolutely wrong. I've spoken to Minister McConalogue and Minister Chambers. I've liaised with Kildare County Council, and I absolutely believe that we can come together to ensure that this stays in Kildare. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Minister, would you like to respond for one minute?
Thanks very much for that. Look, nobody knows better about how important Punchestown is to the rural economy and to the economy of Kildare. I worked in Punchestown Racecourse for 4 years. I was actually a course builder for a number of summers on the 3-day equestrian course, which is a fantastic facility in Punchestown. And absolutely, I would love to see HSI set up in Punchestown. You know, I know Punchestown has been mentioned, Goffs has been mentioned. There's numerous different places. The Kill Equestrian Centre has been mentioned in the mix in terms of that facility that the state has invested in previously, but that is in private ownership. These are all different options that I would like to make sure are fully exhausted. And I also want to see that the approach in terms of capital funding has been fully exhausted by HSI, because the Department of Sport have a very critical role here to play. And in terms of, I've only been in the department since the 1st of July, and I've seen maybe 3-4 different proposals in relation to where HSI goes. So, this latest one, I can understand the Senator's concern, but from my perspective, it's another one that I've seen and that I want to see teased out the real potential that we have of developing a state-of-the-art system that will see an improved system for HSI. Ideally, from my perspective as Minister for Kildare, I'd love to see that in Kildare. But, as a 32-county centre, we need to get this right for the long-term future of the Horse Sport Ireland also.
Thank you, Minister Hayden. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Senators, for raising the issue. We'll now change to Minister O'Gorman, I believe, is taking the next commencement matter.